Hey there, and welcome to my channel, The Paper Bag Investor. Today I want to talk about some recent tweets from Elon Musk where he suggested Tesla could be delivering 20 million vehicles a year before 2030, maybe even as early as 2027. It's pretty crazy numbers that he's talking about, and I want to share some thoughts about it with you guys. So let's get into it. And before I go any further, I want to make a really quick disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy with a paper bag on his head that loves investing and thinking about the future. And if you love investing and thinking about the future, I encourage you hit that subscribe button down below. While you're at it, hit that like button. It really helps me out. If you find these videos valuable, if you really enjoy this video. So Monday morning, Elon Musk had some pretty crazy tweets that he tweeted out in response to some others on Twitter. I'm going to put just a summary up of them on the screen here as a screenshot. And Elon basically says that he expects in 7 years, global EV car sales will be over 30 million, and possibly even sooner than that, 6 or 5 years from now, but less likely. And that he sees Tesla selling 20 million vehicles by 2030, possibly sooner. Actually, he says probably sooner than 2030. And as a long-term Tesla investor, this tweet has me very, very excited. And say they don't do it in 2030, but they do it sooner, so by, say, 2027, they sold 20 million vehicles. It sounds like a completely ridiculous number when you consider the fact that this year they're expected to sell only 500,000. So it'd be a 40x increase in 7 years. But really, it is actually quite in line with their goals that they unveiled on Battery Day. So it is, in that sense, quite plausible. For example, on Battery Day, they said by 2030, they expect to reach a total Tesla production of 3 terawatt hours. But let's say they don't quite reach that by 2030, but by 2027, they're at 1.5 terawatt hours of internal production. Still an insane amount, but say they reach 1.5, and say half a terawatt hour goes to energy storage, and 1 terawatt hour goes to vehicle production. Then Tesla unveiled on Battery Day, another thing they said was that there's in the next probably 3 years, according at least to Elon timeline, they expect to have a $25,000 very eco kind of vehicle available in production to the market. And my guess is that a vehicle of this sort of price would be considerably smaller battery pack and very likely less than 50 kilowatt hours in the battery pack. So if we say at that time, maybe if you balance this cheaper vehicle with other sales, say Model 3, Y, S, X, and Cybertruck, maybe there's an overall average of 50 kilowatt hours per vehicle, because some of those are going to be more than that, some are going to be less. And say overall average of 50 kilowatt hours, and you have 1 terawatt hour in 2027, well then that's you do that math, that's 20 million vehicles of battery production. Let's say you had that other half a terawatt was just for energy storage. So according to that plan that they unveiled on Battery Day, this sort of number is very realistic, at least when you consider how audacious and huge their Battery Day goals are. But I really love how Tesla and Elon, especially, he sets these audacious goals and then aggressively pursues them. Because even if it takes them longer to reach the goals, they still are going to have incredible results. Some people criticize Elon and say that he's on Elon timeline and always delivers things later than he says they'll be delivered. But the crazy thing is, he always delivers. And even if he's a few years later than he maybe suggests originally, but the crazy thing is that Elon actually delivers. He actually delivers on these insane goals. So even if he's not exactly on time with his goals, he still gets to his goals. And say if in 2027 they're not at 20 million sales, but say for example they're at 10 million vehicle sales, that's still incredibly insane and or about 20x growth from this year's sales, what they'll probably be. Or I should use the word deliveries, because they're actually more production constrained than they are demand for their vehicles constrained. But overall, I just want to reiterate that these goals are so encouraging to me. And I've been saying for a while now to close friends and family and to anyone that will listen to me that the future, I think the most common vehicle by far that you'll see on the streets will be a Tesla. And right now, Toyota and Volkswagen are the two largest automakers in the world by vehicle sales, each selling about 9 million vehicles per year. And I think eventually Tesla is going to reach 20 million a year, and really, why would they stop there? They could probably keep going from that point as well. And in the future, I think you're going to look out on your street and you'll see Tesla, 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 just about everywhere. Different models that we don't even know about today, but Tesla's all over the place. And the stock's going to do extremely well on this journey to 20 million vehicle sales. Let's say an average selling price in the future at 20 million vehicle sales, say the average selling price is $40,000 per vehicle. And for this little quick napkin math, this is not factoring in any energy storage or solar or what I'm most bullish on and very excited about, which is full self-driving. But this is really just vehicle sales, $40,000 a year, 20 million sales. If you do that math, you'd be generating about $800 billion in revenue a year. And let's say they get about $5,000 of gross profit per vehicle, gives you $100 billion in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And say the marketplace was to give them a nice generous ratio, because they're still growing at that point, but a PE ratio of 30, then you'd have, of course, a $3 trillion company. And if they do that in 2027, that's 7 years from now, Tesla could easily be a $3 trillion company. Tonight as I'm recording, they just closed the market today at $390 billion market cap. So I'll let you do the math on that kind of return. And again, that doesn't even count solar, energy storage, or full self-driving, which again, I'm the most bullish on. I think they're going to make the most profits on. And really, why would they stop there even at 20 million vehicles per year sold? Globally, there's about 100 million vehicles per year sold, and this number, in the future, it might increase or decrease. It's hard to say because there's a couple of major forces that will be at play. One is that full self-driving, if that really takes over, then vehicle utilization rates will go much higher. So rather than you're having a vehicle that sits around for 95% of the time and it's parked, vehicles maybe instead of being used 5% of the time, maybe they're used 30-40% of the time, where they're actually doing useful travel and not just parked. So in that case, a lot less people would even own a vehicle at all, and they just take robo-taxis, whether full self-driving. So you need less vehicles overall. But also, because another force is that with full self-driving, travel would become much cheaper and affordable, so people may want to travel more, and there might be more activity and kilometers traveled, which means you still need more vehicles. So these kind of opposing forces could sort of push that number around, that 100 million vehicle sales. But anyways, it'd be around that ballpark, and there are other EV makers, and there's some competitors, but really I don't see any major competitors for Tesla, so why would they stop at 20 million? Maybe they could sell 30, 40 million vehicles a year in the future and just keep growing. Certainly with their plans on Battery Day that they unveiled to have 3 terawatt hours of production by 2030, those kind of insane numbers, where we're starting to talk about 30 million, 40 million vehicle sales could be possible. Maybe those would be very small vehicles in different countries that are short robo-taxis that go short distances and then recharge. But the point is that those kind of insane vehicle quantities that Tesla could deliver are realistic in my mind, are very possible. So yeah, as a long-term investor, it's very, very exciting. But I want to hear from you guys. Do you guys think this is possible? What do you think Elon meant in his tweet? Do you think that they could sell 20 million vehicles by 2027, a 40x increase? It's about 70% year-over-year growth from here for the next 7 years in Tesla sales. Do you think that's at all possible for Tesla, or do you think Elon Musk is a little bit crazy? Or do you even think they will get to 20 million sales, or is that just that number already a crazy number you don't think is possible? I'd love to hear what you guys think down below. I've said this in other videos, but I really believe that as an investor, it's very, very important to hear others' opinion and a perspective, and really try and find out what's actually true, and really look deeply from many, many angles to do that, to find out what's actually true, and be willing to consider that, hey, maybe I'm wrong in some of my beliefs. So I want to do that as a person and as an investor, and I hope you guys do that as well. And so yeah, if you think there's something in any of my videos that you think doesn't make sense, let me know down below. I really appreciate it. I read all the comments. And while you're doing that, if this stuff interests you and you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit that thumbs up. It really helps me out. I'm trying to grow my channel. And yeah. Okay, so thanks a lot, and have a good day.